Whereabouts. It's a rainy Saturday, but I did manage to go out for 2 plus early in the morning, a little bit after 5, closer to 5:30. Um, two plus, and that's a pretty steady pace walk. Actually, no running, just a walk. I I try to. I mentioned it earlier this morning. I try to keep it at my ultra pace, as if I was walking a 24-hour race. Um, and I want to go the distance. I don't want to take a break. I'm going to walk the entire time. Might go a little bit faster, might go a little slower at night, but thereabouts. Somewhere between a 14:30 and 15:30 pace. Again, I might veer towards the 16 when I'm tired. Usually in the morning when the sun would come up, I'd get a surge of energy, and I could, especially knowing that I only had a few more hours, and I would quicken it up to like a 13 pace sometimes. And that was just walking. And when I was running most of my ultras, it was a different ball game. Um, then I came out this morning for another later in the morning, uh, 2 plus miles with my wife and dog, ex-wife and dog, and it was steady rain, so we got our 2 miles in and called it a day. That was mostly a leisurely walk, and then we always throw in a run somewhere in there, um, depending on what we want to accomplish. So, plus I got my burpee workout in. I got 2 yoga sessions in. Um, Pretty good day so far. I wanted to talk a little bit about my yoga practice and what I'm doing in my practice. It's varied through the years. I've done uh, different styles. I did Bikram yoga for quite some time, never missing a day for a long time. And that's a 90-minute class and I think it's 103, 104 degree temperature. And I would do it after my kettlebell workout and going for a run. So that was quite a workout. I did that through in my early 40s. Um, Again, pretty lengthy period of time. Um, Before that, I would do different yoga classes here and there, but mainly practice my own um, things that I've gathered from different classes. Destiny Forever Walks is here, PhD. Uh, Happy and grand day. How are you? I'm doing well, thank you. Destiny, how are you? Um, so yeah, I've practiced different styles, different routines through the year. Um, as of late, I've been practicing a Sivananda inspired routine. He has 12 basic postures, his style of yoga, Hatha yoga. Um, and what I love about it is a complete spiritual practice laid out in a however long period of time you're going to be practicing it. And again, it's 12 basic postures. It mainly addresses the spine because what it's doing is opening you up energetically. It is causing a change through the very structure of the body. It is sparking something I talked about with Destiny not too long ago, Kundalini energy. And very energizing. I feel great afterwards. Now I say Sivananda inspired because it's not strictly following his standard, but it's pretty close. Destiny says that she's doing fantastic and she is touring her new city today. Pretty excited. Yeah, I bet it's always great to explore a new home area, especially you know this is where you settle. This is home. So getting to know it, seeing the sights, opening up to the people, yeah, it's a wonderful thing. So I mentioned before the practice it's a complete spiritual practice. And that's what I love about it. And that's what I love sort of steering people in that direction. Because for those who don't have time, they say, I don't have time to meditate, I don't have time to do yoga, I don't have time to devote myself to what you would consider maybe a spiritual practice. It's laid out. And you begin with a chant. You begin with chanting Om. This is basically how I do it. So you begin with chanting Om. You lie down in Savasana, which is a relaxation pose. You focus on the breath. Not anything special, not a special breathing style. In through the nose, out through the nose, watching the belly rise, watching the belly fall. Breathing from the diaphragm. So movement from the chest is minimal. You shouldn't even feel it. You can put your hand on your chest, hand on your belly, and you feel your belly rise and your belly fall, but your chest basically stays the same. In a Sivananda class, it would be 5 minutes or so. Depending on my day, I might lie in Shavasana. Now, I've already meditated in the morning when I start my yoga, so I don't count this as my meditation time. So I might do it for 2 minutes, I might do it for 5 minutes. And then you would, so that's actually the first thing you do, is you lie in Shavasana, and then you do the Om chant. Then you lie in Shavasana again, and then you do the breathing of the breath of fire. Usually 3 rounds for me, 3 rounds, 20 breaths with a breath hold. So I would do my breath of fire, and you take an easy yogic breath in, exhale, a deep yogic breath in, exhale, and as an easy breath, and then I hold it for anywhere from 20 to 40 seconds. 3 rounds of that, followed by 10 rounds of alternate nostril breathing. And then you lay back in Savasana. And then I go into sun salutation, anywhere from 4 to 6 rounds. Destiny is asking, how would you tie in spiritual awakening and enlightenment in what you are discussing now? It's actually already tied in, Destiny, that this is the path of yoga from the very beginning, where you practice the ethical restraints and then the personal observances, followed by the postures, followed by breath work, followed by the stages of meditation, with the end result of meditation being, we could say, enlightenment. In yoga, we'd call it samadhi, or awakening. Now, of course, awakening can happen in any stage, and it doesn't have to even be tied to yoga. Some people have spontaneous awakenings. Some people have it through selfless service. Others through devotion to a particular religious figure or an aspect of God, nature. Some people have spontaneous awakenings just being in nature. Something beautiful strikes them, and for a moment, their own self-serving thoughts are forgotten. Ego is set aside. It doesn't disappear forever, but it's set aside, and there's that realization that I am not my ego. Ego is a guiding navigational system, but it's not who I am. And they can no longer go back to the regularity of their life, at least living it in such a way where it's selfish concern. Because the world's too big now. Once you have that awakening, the world is just too big to totally be self-absorbed again. Because now you see everything and everybody as an aspect of you. Practicing yoga, the full path is a path towards awakening, and yet it is also awakening itself. as well as taking care of the body, taking care of the mind. The thing is, I know plenty of people who have had awakening experiences, but that doesn't mean they've gained any sense of freedom, any sense of liberation. Because unless you can see how we're tied into how the mind works, how we are tied into chasing after the things we find attractive and running away from the things that we find that we have an aversion to, and that those patterns repeat themselves through our lives, and that we are helpless in that. Unless we can see that and then be responsive to that, we're just trapped in that situation. Even if we have an awakening experience, if we're unable to step away from that ping-ponging through life, we're still trapped. Destiny says that every aspect of yoga in some way activates Kundalini. I believe so as well. Especially the particular yoga, like Sivananda is focusing these 12 postures and their variations on the spine. Not all of them are, direct to the spine, but the majority of them focus on that energetic system. As well, every posture is tied into the chakra system. It's all aligned energetically to open us up so that we can sit in meditation longer, so that we gain that sensitive awareness. For me, doing the asanas is like, and I described this the other day on Instagram, that it's almost like every particle in my body is being systematically removed and held up to a light and shined, rubbed by divine hands, breathed on, cleared, and then placed back. It's like I'm being replaced every time I practice. And it just goes on and on and on and on. As my friend Robert Saltzman, who wrote The 10,000 Things, great author, wonderful man, awakening never ends. It's an ongoing process. You don't awaken and then say, well, that's it. I'm enlightened. I see everything the way it's supposed to be. It doesn't remove you from life. It actually sinks you deep into life. Soul deep, neck deep into life. You're now an awake participant in life. Angel? I always have a hard time seeing some of the names, and then of course pronouncing them correctly, is saying hello. Hello, how are you? And then of course you have Kundalini Yoga, which specializes on raising the Kundalini. They've actually considered doing a 200-hour certification class. But right now, I'm very hesitant to change my practice because I'm enjoying it so much. And again, I do the versions of the Sivananda 12 basic postures, as well as the breathing. I have breathing practice 3 times a day, pranayama practice, as well as therapeutically. So if there's something I'm a little more stressed about, if there's something that I need to pick up the energy a bit, I have that pranayama practice that I can turn to anytime during the day. And pranayama itself is a very important way of activating, cultivating Kundalini energy. Many people have had spontaneous Kundalini experiences just through breath work. And, again, Kundalini Yoga actually steers you through specific breath work just for that purpose. So here's something I'll admit as a failed yogi in some regards. I have never been able to master the headstand. I've gotten into headstands and I've fallen out of headstands. I could hold it for a little bit. I could do the frog stand, which is not putting your legs all the way up. When I was a kid, I would practice doing a headstand on my skateboard. Maybe that's why, as I got older, I developed a sort of phobia of falling from the headstand. So I do versions of headstands to get the benefit of it, but I usually go right into shoulder stand, which I can hold indefinitely, and I get headstand is considered the king of yogic exercises. Shoulder stand is considered the queen. So you get many, if not all, of the benefits of shoulder stand. Now, having said that, having admitted my yogi failure, that I just recently sent away for a cheat support. I have a headstand bench coming, which actually allows you to do the headstand without putting weight on the neck, not putting weight on the head, but you're in the headstand position and you're getting all the benefits. And it's important to get those inversions in. It does wonders for your spine, lowers the blood pressure, it de-stresses you. It de-stresses the entire body, actually, as well as giving the heart a break, because the heart has to pump blood throughout the body. It has to reach everywhere. When you're in that headstand or shoulder stand position, the blood is being reversed. It's no longer rushing to the leg. The blood in the legs are rushing back to the heart. So it's almost like getting a lube job. It's almost getting like your oil changed. And it's important for brain health, as well as looking good. So I'm actually really excited about getting my cheater bench, as I will call it. And I'm saying that facetiously because, you know what? It's not cheating, and there's no failure in yoga. Any attempt of getting in the pose, you get benefits from. There's a line in the Katha Upanishads that says, no effort along the spiritual path is ever wasted. And here's the great thing. We realize that all of life is our spiritual path. There's no spiritual practice that is separate from life. There's no interaction with anybody, including a conversation here on YouTube, that isn't spiritual practice. It's all practice, and it's all spiritual, every last bit of it. Destiny says Kundalini Yoga is said to lead to spiritual enlightenment. That is called a Kundalini awakening. Do you agree with that? I do agree with that. However, it's not limited to Kundalini Yoga. There's a book, Serpent Power, I believe. It was actually written quite a long time ago. Gopi, and I can't remember his last name. He was Indian. He had a spontaneous Kundalini awakening. The great thing about Kundalini Yoga, is they offer you guidance through that. Because when you have a sudden Kundalini awakening and you don't know what it is, you think there's something horrible going on with you, because it does have some health effects. Milka McCarty is here. Hey, Milka. Thanks for coming by. It's been a bit since you've been able to stop by, and I know that's because you've been busy with schoolwork. For those who don't know, Milka is doing American Sign Language, getting her degree, working hard, and, you know, because we're talking yoga, there's the path of karma yoga, which is the path of selfless service, and I'm tying that into what we were talking about with Milka, because when Milka was searching for wanting to use the rest of her GI Bill, but not just use her GI Bill. After 23 plus, I know she corrects me if I don't put in the plus, 23 plus years serving her country, in the U.S. military, in the Air Force. She still wanted to be of service and to pursue a degree in something where she would be able to help people, not just people, but people who might be at a disadvantage in society. That is karma yoga. If you pursue karma yoga as your path, and all paths merge, just because you might find yourself walking one path doesn't exclude any of the others, but karma yoga leads to spiritual awakening in the same way Kundalini yoga leads to spiritual awakening. Destiny says, how does the Kundalini energy descend down to the spine and nervous system? Also, how does it tie in with yoga? The how is beyond my ability to explain. It is tied in with the chakra system, which are literally energetic wheels. And the Kundalini energy travels the wheels. It ties in with yoga because yoga is the cultivating of spiritual energy. It is the using the body as an instrument to work through those chakra systems. And that's what I like about Sivyanda yoga and the 12 postures, is it's all lined up energetically with the body to bring about the greatest benefit, spiritually speaking, as well as physically speaking. Because again, in the end, there's no separating the two. We're not working mind and body and spirit. We're working mind, body, spirit. By rights, that should be one word, but of course, nobody would understand what I was saying if I said mind, body, spirit. So we break it up into what sounds like three things, or what is three things, but honestly isn't. It's just one energetic field manifesting physically, manifesting energetically, manifesting spiritually. So yes, it is descends down through the chakra system, or circular, depending on which philosophical, that it goes through the 7th chakra, all the way down, and then back up the spine. And in the yoga teaching certification that I was doing, they would actually guide you through a chakra meditation where you would use mantras, bija mantras, which are seed syllables, literally the sound of the universe. And each chakra corresponds with a specific sound. And you would do a short chant for each chakra, sensing it, chanting, sending that energy down there, feeling the energy expand, and you would work your way up and back down, and then you would do it again. This time you would add specific colors that correspond with the chakra system. So, really great questions, Destiny. And I'm sorry if in some of it I failed to give an answer, because I'm simply not, my own experience in Kundalini yoga is not extensive. I've done some classes, I've read some books. My experience with Kundalini energy itself is a little more extensive, but without having the background to articulate it, it's harder to describe. I have some friends, particularly on Facebook, who actually specialize in guiding people through the Kundalini experience. And I know they've been very helpful for quite a few people. Destiny says all of yoga aims at awakening Kundalini energy and leading the Kundalini upward to the highest realization. How is it that Kundalini yoga operates differently. They use different modalities, um, specifically with the breath. It's a very highly energetic practice, um, as well as like with the Sivyanda yoga. Kundalini, cultivating Kundalini is less of a focus and more of a byproduct of the practice. Kundalini yoga, it is the practice itself. Everything is geared towards that. Everything is geared to exactly what you were just saying. In other forms of yoga, again, like in karma yoga, it's not even a concern. If it happens, awesome. But you find yourself you find yourself awakening through your selfless service of others. It's the same with Bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga being devotional yoga, where you offer your devotion full-heartedly towards an aspect of the divine, be it a guru, be it an aspect of God, be it a version or vision of yourself in some way. And you do that through chanting, through deep meditation, through prayer, to literally offering yourself in complete devotion to whatever that aspect is. If Kundalini awakens, it's a happy accident, but it's not the express purpose. The purpose is simply to be devoted to awakening through that devotion. And then you have the yoga of jnana yoga, which is the yoga of knowledge. And that is the path of self-inquiry, where you would ask yourself, this was the path of Ramana Maharaj. Who am I? Repeatedly asking yourself, who am I? Not settling on an answer because it doesn't have an answer. If you ask yourself deeply, who am I, and you get an answer, you haven't gone deep enough. You need to keep going and keep going until you come to that realization that silence alone is the answer. That the emptiness of a reply is the answer. And that remarkably, when you come to that emptiness, you find that it's an emptiness that divinely holds everything in the universe. As they say in the Buddhist Heart Sutra, one of my favorite things to always offer, emptiness is form, form is emptiness. And the key word is. They don't say that emptiness becomes form and that form reverts back to emptiness. They're saying right now, emptiness is form. Form is emptiness. So every time, for emphasis, I pound on my desk. This desk, although it feels solid, although I stub my toe on it at least once a week, and it hurts every single time, it is still emptiness. And that emptiness is always potential form, no matter how it's expressed. Destiny says, thanks Eric McCarty for giving feedback and for answering my questions. I'm always looking for more clarity. These topics have always been a big interest of mine for years. I like studying this topic. I do as well. Since I have my computer up, let me see if I can find the name of that author. And it has become, his book on Kundalini Awakening has become sort of the definitive explanation. Because for him, it was he was a doctor, and it was a spontaneous awakening. Gopi something. Let's see. Yeah, it was a spontaneous. He didn't know what was going on. Even though he was East Indian, he didn't have any clue what it was. And it took him quite some time to be able to come to terms with it and to use it as a viable form of awakening. Let's see if I can find it. There's quite a few books on it. Destiny, are you on Facebook? Actually, I believe you are. I think I might have even sent you a friend's request. If you look me up on Facebook, I will introduce you to my friend Tom Thompson, who could answer any Kundalini question for you, and he is the one I mentioned who has guided quite a few people through their Kundalini journey. Let's see. Surprised the book didn't come right up, as it is, again, considered the handbook. Of course, my Google energy is not the highest. Gopi Krishna. Several books. Kundalini, The Evolution Energy in Man. As well, anything by Sri Arbonino, and yes, I'm pronouncing the name wrong, is important. There is a book, another one of his books, Living with Kundalini, The Awakening of Kundalini. So Gopi, his first name, Krishna, his last name. And he has several really good books. Kundalini Path, or Kundalini, The Path to Higher Consciousness. Kundalini Questions and Answers. All important books on the subject. And again, he would be the definitive source. If you have Kindle, you can get his books on Kindle as well. As I mentioned, I have considered doing a 200-hour teaching certification on Kundalini Yoga, but again, right now, I'm just so I'm locked in to my practice as it is right now, enjoying it and enjoying that energy. So, let's see. Destiny says, well, thanks for another great discussion. You're welcome, and thank you, because you know what? It's great because of the conversation, because of what you brought to it, as well as Milka and as well as Angel. Destiny has to be on her way now. You're an amazing teacher. Blessings to you, and continue to enjoy your day. Thank you, and enjoy your tour of your new hometown. Looking forward to hearing more about it. So, thank you for stopping by. I will probably call it a day as well. I'm going to get ready for my second and last meditation session, and then back to some classwork. I am one lecture away from finishing Yoga Psychology 101, and that should be done today or tomorrow at the latest. And then I will move on. I have a class in Ayurveda coming up, which is of great interest, and hopefully I'll be able to share that with you. The only purpose of learning any of this is to share it with my friends, to hopefully make somewhat of difference for you guys, as well as me. So, all right, guys, I will see you tomorrow morning for some burpees. I think it's the Navy SEAL session, and then we'll be back in the afternoon. If anyone is on Instagram and they want to follow me on Instagram, I have a really casual conversation, 15-20 minutes in the evenings on Instagram. As well, I used to post weekly vegan pancake photos, but I have not in quite some time. Maybe again someday, who knows? This could be a hint for Milka McCarty to make me vegan pancakes and bring them over. Or it may not be a hint. I'll let you guys decide. All right, so going to end the conversation now. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.